Alrighty, YouTube, with the back half of Rat 10 more or less assembled, minus just a few little things, we can now move on to the front half, again, mainly the engine, because it's time to tear the engine apart, to turbo prep it, and swap the cam. Teardown of the engine shouldn't be that bad, because it's really in pieces already. The oil pan, I think, is held on with 2 bolts, and the valve cover comes off, then it's the head, and the rods and pistons, so I can just do the ring gap. And the timing cover, so the cam's gotta come out. I guess it's gotta come more apart than I think it does. This thing has collected a lot of dust from sitting. Yes, I got a few things to sort out here still. Oh boy. Okay. It's nice how easily accessible everything is on this little engine. Alright, man, everything is so clean. There we go. And there's not even a wear mark on that. I will be able to use these with my new cam. That's awesome. Now, do I have a drill bit big enough to make a hole for these? It looks like I do indeed. How do you fit? Oh, beauty. There's 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, now we can take all the head bolts off. And if you needed more evidence, this is new. That's brand new copper coat on all these bolts. And I'm really excited to see what the inside of this thing looks like, because I've never seen it. What are the odds this actually just peels off of here? Head is off. Ooh, that's different. That's definitely runtime on the block. These pistons are kind of neat too. They're dished. I didn't think they were going to be dished, but they're like partially dished. Son of a bitch, this block's been decked. It's been surfaced for sure. You can see the fly marks from a cutter. I don't think that's factory. I mean, maybe. Gasket is brand new. Oh, the head's been surfaced as well. Man, what did I buy? The valves have been lapped. Just make out the lapping compound. That blue dye you paint on. I'm excited. Now, I haven't personally pulled a lot of engines apart, so this could just be factory machining. It looks to me like someone might have had this at least redone a little bit just to true it up, because the head matches very, very well. Nice and consistent. Like I was saying, the valves, you can see all the blue dye where someone has been through here and actually seated them properly. At least that's the hope. And then the head gasket is literally brand new. I don't want to peel it off, but it's never been used. The cylinders have just the slightest bit of glazing. There's just slight evidence of a crosshatch in there, so someone cared. These pistons are new to me too. I've never seen like a 3/4 dish like that. Funky. But they all look consistent, which is nice. Well, let's flip it over and get them out. Ooh, that came off nice. There is wear on here, not a lot. They do look like cast rods. Pistons say Mexico on them. I have to assume these are cast pistons. Just like that, all the pistons are out. Come on. There we go. Timing cover. These GM 4-cylinders have plastic timing gears. I'm still debating if I want to upgrade that to the, they make aluminum ones for them. go. What a cute little cam. There we go. Okay. Whew. I'm gonna go put this somewhere very safe. There we go. Now I did want to try and get this dipstick out of here as well, but I don't know how that's gonna go. It's not gonna be that easy, is it? Oh. Nice. Okay. Now, I never intended of going this far apart, but I have an opportunity to take this into my work. We have a big stand-up parts washer, so I'm gonna take it in, get it all parts washed. After I find a hone to hone it out, I'm gonna get a hone, do the lightest honing I can, because the condition of the block is actually really good. From there, I can start doing my ring fitment and my reassembly. Oh yeah, this weighs like nothing. Oh yeah. Focus. Beauty. So there's what that looks like after about maybe 5 minutes compared to that disgusting mess. Beauty. Alrighty, in she goes. Oh, it's raining. Oh boy. Give these a good brake clean because there's still a whole bunch of metal in there. Just oiling them down a little bit to prevent rust from sitting, even though I do plan on having this together in the next few hours. Okay, now we're gonna get into the turbo prep that I want to do to this engine. Turbo prep is basically just rings, filing rings, and head studs. Apart from that, I'm changing the cam, which isn't really turbo prep, it's just a better cam for street use than the boat cam was. That's kind of it, then we can throw it all back together. So this is just going off some general rules that I have learned over my time of building garbage from mechanic friends, books, other people, the internet. A general rule for a stock NA engine ring gap is your bore times 4 thousandths. If you want to go into power adders like nitrous or boost times point. So this would be like a safe street strip ring gap. And if you're doing any kind of crazy racing with power adders, 0.0055, or if you're going even crazier, like really high-end power racing. Now these numbers do get higher the more power you want to make, and depending on your application as well. Second ring is a little different, but for my case, I'm just going to keep it within the same specifications because I think it's going to be fine. It's a shitbox build. I don't really expect much out of it. To be brutally honest, as long as my rings are stock ring gap, that means I can file them out larger, or if my rings are just a little bit worn out, which is what I'm kind of suspicious about, being that the bore had some wear on it. I only plan on running about 15 pounds of boost, which kind of falls in somewhere in this range anyways. I might not even need to file rings, who knows. Okay, let's go take some measurements. And with some more tools that I had to borrow from work because I don't own them, a nice set of piston ring spreaders. Spread it open, take it off safely. We're gonna tuck this guy just into here, fold it over, take your piston with the second ring, Square it up, make sure it's sitting there nice. This works pretty damn good. Our ring is nice and square. Now, based on the math on the table, this ring gap should hopefully be about 16 thou if they were new. I kind of doubt it. We're gonna start with 16. Okay, oh wow, that's real loose. Okay, yeah. There's definitely some drag on 24. I'm gonna call top ring on cylinder 1 24 thou, which is way larger than I was expecting it to be, actually. This is worn out more than I thought. But if you remember, top end of our spec is 24. So that's actually a really good starting point for me. It's a little more than maybe I should have, but I'd rather have my gap be a little bit too big than too small and risk butting up a ring and destroying a piston. I am gonna take this ring and measure 90 degrees out as well, just in case the bore is real whack. Okay. I have about the same amount of drag, so that's good. A little bit more gap than I was hoping for, but I'll accept it. So I'm now gonna set this aside and mark it in my table. Take the second ring off the piston. Stick ring number 2 down in there. Ooh, that gap looks big. Oh my God, that's huge. 39 thou, really? No, that's really 39. Holy. Well, that's not great news. But you know what? I'm not buying another set of rings because I don't really care. It is the second ring, so it's not a huge deal. Second ring is normally a little bigger. I mean, not 15 thou bigger. I am just gonna throw it together because I'm sick of being delayed, waiting on parts and whatnot. So if this has like no compression once I have it all together, or like lower compression than I was expecting, then we'll do something about it. For now, I'm not happy with it, but I'll take it because it's what I got. I'm gonna go through, check out what the rest of the cylinders say. I'll come back after and I'll show you my chart just to see where everything lines up. And then, because it's a shit box, we're just gonna throw it back together. Here's what all those numbers came out to. They're pretty consistent across the board. Cylinder 1 has a little bit more wear than the rest of them, and the bottom ring is also consistently larger than the top ring, so I'm gonna call it okay. Like I said, my main top ring is kind of right around the spec I want it to be anyways for safety. That should be way more than enough to handle 15 pounds of boost that I decided to throw at it. So I get to skip a step. I don't have to file any rings. That's good. Which now means I can start throwing this back together. Alright, the crank can go in next. There we go. That's better. Thick ass assembly lube. Alright, we're gonna torque these bad boys to 65 foot-pounds in a few stages. And we're gonna go in an inside-out pattern, so we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. WD-40 might not be the oil of choice for assembly, but it's what I've got. And we send her home. Beautiful. Oh yeah, she's tight in there, man. That's nice. Ugh, I grabbed hose that was too small. Of course, my hands are covered in oil. You mother. Just use tools, that's why they were invented. Look at that. There we go. Here's the last one. Perfect. Alright, so we are all back together. Everything's moving a little tight for by hand, but I don't have a good way to turn this, so I'm gonna call it good. Sweet, thank you. Check out what just showed up in the mail. This is an aluminum timing gear to replace the one on the old cam. These 2.5 cams use it's a very fibrous plastic style type of timing gear, and with the power that I'm going to be making, I don't know if I want to trust that, so I ordered an aluminum one. And then because I'm not using the boat cam, I also have this Iskandarian Cams bumpy stick. I'd go into cam specs, but I really honestly don't know enough about cams to explain them properly to YouTube, so just know that this is bigger than the old one. I forgot to turn my camera off before I set everything up. I put the cam away and the gear's just hanging out here for now, and I set up my press again in this ghetto fashion. Steel lowering blocks in here, the gear and the retainer which spins around are supported, and I just have a socket pressing it down. I'm actually surprised it came out this easy. Sweet. I don't know if the new cam has this ridge, which will be interesting. I hope it does. Come on, Betsy. Hopefully that's the same size on the new one. The new cam does not have a way to retain it. Shit. No, that'll fit though. Why would they machine a shoulder for this, but not on the new one? Because this is obviously way too loose. I mean, it's not like it needs to be a tight fit. It's just stopping the cam from ever walking out. I don't know if I want to do that though. I don't. So I'm stupid. There was just a residual amount of oil that made this look like it was a one-piece machine surface. That's too funny. Little key. This is the inside. Well, it's a good thing I didn't see how I did that. But that gear's on. Get some assembly lube on the cam bearings. And the new cam came with some extreme pressure assembly lube, which we will use on the lobes. I'm not an engine builder, so if this is driving any of you insane right now, I'm sorry. All right, this is one of the official moments. We are camming a 3-liter boat engine to receive a turbo in an S10 with an independent rear and a 6-speed from a 1991 C4 Corvette. Man, what am I building? Okay. Nice and easy. Oh, you don't want to go to your home? I'm turning the camera off before I lose my mind. Good news, literally right as the camera turned off, I tapped the nose of the crank up and this slid right in place. Now I can torque all this stuff back down. All right. What the fuck is the problem? 2.25. Oh. Yeah, that'll do it. 2.6. Oh my god. Man, that's like over 30 thou difference. God, who the fuck machined this? Well, new day, new eyes. That blows. I had to remove all these caps to even get this to try moving. And yeah, it's, she ain't gonna work, man. I'm gonna go remove that aluminum gear and press the old one on. Well, the good news is the old gear went on way easier. Alright, where's your timing mark? TDC cylinder 1. Oh, me. There we go. Look at that. Okay, let's just pray this has movement when I torque the crank. If it doesn't, I'm probably gonna lose my shit. I swear to God, if you don't move... Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Oh, yeah, there we go. Not excited about using this gear, but it is brand new, which is nice, so we're gonna roll with it. Whoa. So now it's time to put the head on, but before that, I gotta show you something cool. I picked up these. If you don't know ARP, they're like the #1 leading manufacturer in fastening products for performance engines. And I bought this box, which is actually advertised as Pontiac Super Duty. Essentially, the boat engine is what the Pontiac Super Duty was based off of. If you're a Pontiac nut, you'll know all about that. I don't know too much, but it is cool to have actual Super Duty parts going into my S10 build. I mean, actual. I'm keeping that sticker forever, just because it says Super Duty on it. That's badass. I'm just gonna chase the threads of each head bolt hole, because I don't know exactly how good a quality they're in. Alright, what a pain in the ass that was. Now we can head over to the head studs, which I have out of the box. Now, all of these head studs go into the water jacket. I don't like siliconing threads, so I'm gonna use some of this liquid Teflon thread sealer. It's all I have laying around and it should be fine. It's high temp and it's meant for pipe thread, so I think it should be okay. Okay. Now, if you don't know this, head studs are hand tight only. The benefit of head studs is you hand tight them in and then the nut gets a clamping force in a straight down direction. When you use a regular head bolt, as your bolt tightens, not only does it have a tensile force, but it also has a torsional force because you're turning it as you're tightening it. Whereas the stud is just a tensile force with the nut pulling against it. That's what results in more clamping load out of these guys. Here we go. Nicely done. Oop, there we go. Okay, we'll do the rest of the washers. And thread lube all these bad boys. Alright, it is time to torque in 3 equal increments. The spec for ARP is 110 foot-pounds. I don't know how this one's gonna do, but we'll try. And it says to do in 3 equal increments, so we'll go 36 is the closest. We'll go 36, 72, and then 110. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so that's actually as far together as I'm going to be getting it for now. I obviously still need to drop the lifters in and do the push rods, but I'm not 100% sure if the push rods that I have are going to be the correct length to work with this cam, and I don't know if my valve springs are going to work either, so that's going to be just a completely another crazy ordeal in itself. And then there's little things like the oil pump's got to go back on, the pickup, the oil pan, obviously like the water pump timing cover and all the other stuff, but that's all going to be covered when the engine's actually in the truck. So that turned out pretty good. That was full engine disassembly. I mean, from where it was, all the turbo prep I was going to do. So that's ring gap, cam swap, head studs, and we're all back together and we're torqued. The block is basically just ready to go. Got more engine stuff coming very soon. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.